Hi, everybody. Here's our second meeting to continue our planning here. Um, I loved the last conversation. It really got me um, thinking and inspired, and it kind of started organizing things in my brain. And I really appreciate the template, Ivana.
Yeah, that's super helpful. I had today planned to get this done um, after this meeting, so I don't have my slides into you yet, but they'll be coming quickly.
Well, I've enabled screen share on here. So we can kind of share with each other what's in process and we can describe them, but I have mine up because they're in process and I have themes and placeholders and I think told you I started the one slide for references that could either be a shared reference slide near the end or we could each do our own little, however you end up um, kind of, maneuvering everything creatively. And I did find my little girl picture. I took a picture of that.
Thank you for that. That's really cool. I wanted to share a couple of things with you. Elani, thank you so much for sending your slides. So I have my slides and Elani's slides, and I played a little bit with them. And I wanted to share a few things with you just to, before I move anywhere further, just to sense check with you if you feel comfortable with what I did. So as I said, I really wanted to play with this more than anything else. So I did a bit of my style
Great. I'm
of
excited to see.
presentation. So if it's okay, I will share the screen and show
Yeah.
you three versions, and then feel free to comment and say however you feel about it and what you think about it. It's absolutely fine. It's not like it's not like I'm married to any of them. So this would be, so for the animated videos, I'm thinking of having animated video, which is like top summary. All of us choose top sentences we want to share, and it's very short, where presentation has to be addition to it. Or we could just go with presentation, or we could go with any other options, or we could create something completely as animated. That might take a bit of
Okay. Well,
time.
I love the creativity here, and it looks like I'm not familiar with this, so it looks like fun. So
Okay,
tell
and it's
us.
basically just showing you few things, so it's nowhere close. I didn't want to get too involved because you might not like it, so it's very brief. So this is the first one. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's delicious.
So something like that. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really just, obviously we could change many things. We could change music, we could change style, everything. But it's really just the highlight.
Okay.
The other version.
Now, if you want to go into the screen share again, and in the middle, it also has like this special feature where you can make the sound come directly from your computer. It'll come out a little brighter. So I think you can do it while you're still in the screen share. I'm not so positive, do it from the Zoom. But it's
I'm
okay.
not. So if I
That's okay. Just go ahead. But I'm saying this way we can hear
okay,
the original sound right from your computer. It might be easier.
yeah, okay, but just please be aware that sound is completely. You could choose anything.
Yeah.
and on and on.
That's the second.
That's the second one. And then and this is just, you know, sharing slides, giving thoughts. It's very, Eleni did something similar. So basically responding to the slides, and then we could do simple.
Is that you?
Yes.
Oh.
So we could do a slide with whatever we choose to be the simple summary. And then obviously, you know, once I get all the slides, I mean, this is now just very boring written, and both of us did this. We
I did that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll stop screen share, and I mean, it's just tell me how you feel about any of them and to which direction you prefer to go. And don't worry about insulting me. I enjoyed playing with it.
And you're thinking about taking the stuff that's in the slides and putting it into the Powtoon.
We could do that. We could decide, let's have brief animated video as a summary, and then have the proper academic slides as the third version. Also, I could merge them. I could leave them as they are. You know, we could do any option that works, and then have that just, you know, as a different view onto the same thing. Or if it's too childish for you, I don't mind. I generally turn things like this to school, and I'm okay with that.
We're doing so much APA, you know, it's like, I think how refreshing in a way for Connie and Christine to have something that is like energetic and, you know, joyful in a way. I mean, we can like switch up the music or something. Maybe there's a song we like.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, this is some, like, I don't even know how to call that.
It's like built in, right? It's like a.
Yes, but we can choose the song.
You know, like the second Powtoon.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Elaine. Go ahead, Elaine.
Well, I did like the second Powtoons, but I would be okay with it just being, you know, PowerPoint slides and some creative input, and maybe just one slide for our references, because one of our options was to write a, you know, an academic paper. So this seems like it splits the difference between kind of, here's the ideas, here's our faces, you know, we did a little creative piece, like I wrote sort of like a little short poem, you know.
I did as well, yeah.
And
Yeah.
and just because PowerPoint is the kind of thing that might get presented like at a conference or something, and I just think it would be more straightforward, even though with PowerPoint you can like play with the animation a little bit. You could insert music if you wanted. So I would be drawn to something a little more, just a little more straightforward, you know, just
Kind of in the academic tone, but still has that freedom.
academic, but not, it's not the same stresses for them as reading an academic paper, but it still has that core that they don't have to have a question. Did we really have an academic response? It's just kind of the short version. Here's the short version of our academic response.
The Powtoon also is can be converted into a video that you can just put in the PowerPoint, right?
Yep.
And you're so you're suggesting we use that as just the summary, as like one graphic that you can put in the PowerPoint as this, as the summary, kind of like giving the summary aspect of it
Kind
a
of
little.
like the opener, you mean, or the way, because it had that curiosity approach too. That was kind of fun with the big question, the big
Yeah, at the
question.
beginning.
It could be a hook, the first slide, the first
Yeah.
intro video summary, and then whoever wants to see more academic direct response, could go into
I
the details.
absolutely, I love that slide of your picture that has the fade out to the black
Mhm.
with that was really beautiful and like seemed really professional. I don't know. It just looked really, really nice. So I'm just going to put in my vote for doing the second Powtoon with different music for the summary. If you want to do that.
No, wait, the second one is the one that looks like the data.
Yeah.
Data,
the
Yeah.
green
For
one?
like data files. I feel
Okay.
like for me, with the theme of what we're talking about, anti-racism, oppression, privilege, marginalization, those kinds of things, I felt like the first one was too joyful. Like I
Right.
felt like it was too cute and too joyful. I mean, I think it was really cool, but I just don't feel like it was appropriate for the subject. But the second one could be, and there's probably, because I haven't used Powtoon in a really long time, but I know there's probably a huge choice of music. There's probably one that's just a slightly more serious, a little bit more serious tone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This was me trying to finish something for you in a short time, and I just did what at the moment enjoyed me. I cannot agree with you more. The first one was, I just loved it. That's it. But I now when I think about it, it is inappropriate for the topic. So I agree. What I loved is actually animation. So it could be done in a different way. That was my thinking, but still it's too joyful, and I agree with that. Music, I took the first one. I didn't even go into the list of what's there. So
But I did love the curiosity approach, with the big question, and like some of the things that the way it invited with the little quotes here and there. So if it could keep some of that, like you say, once you're in, this is for somebody who is not so familiar with Kendi, or not so familiar with the other literatures. If this was an uninitiated person seeing it for the first time, that they would have a sense, okay, these are some of the core themes, these are some of the main topics that are going to be we are going to address, just a little in a teeny bit. I like that. No.
Sure. I think what would be very useful for me, just to, when you send me the slides, just highlight what is from your perspective the most important, your thought or a quote. And then if possible, Eleni, I will try to do the same what I did with my photo, with your photo from 8th grade. I loved all your photos you sent. I'm trying to find as close as possible so I could do same with all of them.
Okay.
Sure.
And if I could just share screen once more.
Yeah, please. And do you guys also have like professional pictures, like us now kind of thing? Like I put in one that was just, for me, just felt like, kind of my little girl one, and then I had like a joyful adult one. But I'm thinking, I wonder if it should be like me, like the professional researcher one kind of thing. I love that.
And what I wanted to suggest, if there is something you want to write about yourself, that highlights, because this highlights what I've written in my slides, because I explained, when I was talking about positionality, I explained that really depends where you are. And because I lived all over the world, I've been a queen, a beggar, a leader, and a shadow. And that's the reason why I've written it the way I did. So if there is something like that, and profile photo, that you have, that so I could do the same or something similar. So it does have some similar style. And then whatever you feel you want, of course, if you like that statement way of kind of positioning yourself, then please do that. And just within the slides, highlighting with just the yellow, you know, or whatever, something like this. Just highlight what you want me to focus on, so that I don't take something out of your text that you don't think is necessarily the most important one.
And I like this. And this is, Elaine, did you do this something too, like the looks like a positionality bullet, and then the quote that holds it from the literature, and then like to have that mirror the whole, you know, all
I
of
did I did mine. I did do my positionality, and then I wrote, so
and you can do a
an ethical researcher, Kendi would say, an ethical researcher should do these things. And Anzaldúa would say an ethical researcher would do these things. And it's actually not the New Yorker, but it's the New York Times. And it's that New York Times article about using the term white supremacy.
Oh, because I read the New Yorker one, so maybe that.
So
yeah, that's interesting.
I did the one on the New York Times, and so they would say, you know, white supremacy, the term makes some people uncomfortable. And, and you have to consider whether you're, you know, just trying to irritate people, or whether you, or make people uncomfortable, or whether it's just an accurate description, right? I mean, so that's kind of what mine looks like. You know, I looked at that and I didn't think it was really long enough for me to include quotes. So I didn't. I just tried to summarize, given my positionality, this is what I think these authors thought was important about being an ethical researcher. So I could write that little blurb about myself, you know, like Black woman educator, you know, steeped in schools, always in school, something like that, you know, but, and I can send that to you just in that,
Yep.
in the email.
Great.
Yeah. And take anything from my slide that you want.
Okay.
You know, I am just like,
with that.
I am comfortable with that because, you know, I feel like it, for me, in this setting, with this timeline, we're just trying to turn in something coherent on time. That is my only, you know, I just don't in any way want to cause the rest of the group to be late. So take anything, whatever you find. Let's go, okay. It's the right length, put that in.
Well, this lit you on fire. I mean, you just like went right to it. It's been percolating within me, and I've really enjoyed dipping into some other, I guess, adjacent literature. Just one other piece that talks about how to become a non-oppressive researcher. You guys will have a course next spring. There was a wonderful article that's very harmonious with this by Potts and Brown. I'm citing a little bit in there. And it really was a beautiful picture. I love this picture. It was really harmonious. Is that beautiful? It was really harmonious with all of them. So to me, it was like, it set a tone for me. So I did add to that. But I like this as a framework to just, this is, you know, how, if we were having a conversation with each of them, imagine that they were in this little Zoom session with us, you know, what they might advise us, how they might guide us. They do through their literature, they do. advise and guide us on these things.
And we see what we see in their literature based on our positionality. And
Yes.
so, because for me, I'm always looking at what people say about education. Always. You know, so with Kendi, I'm like, oh, suspension rates, right? I could go, yeah, suspension rates, right? So, yeah,
I might even want that as a slide. Together, we acknowledge we each see in this literature, based on our, what we see based on our positionality, and would love to share our stories, or some kind of a we at the beginning. Something that creates that we're in this as a conversation. I don't know, maybe some kind of a we at the beginning and then a thank you or at the end. I don't know. We don't want it to be so long, but I think it could be like, thank you for sharing our journey or something like this. But we have our creative piece, right? So,
right. My creative piece was just sort of the very shortest ode possible to the researchers that I follow and the researchers who will follow us. We're just sort of tracking along, right? And you're trying to leave enough clues and turn over enough opportunities for other people to continue, that someone can continue behind you when you're done. So, I just needed to do it. We have other things we have to get done, and we're kind of going through a stressful time with our elderly cat, and it's kind of the end today. So last night I just had to write it, like, okay, just do it. Just right. So
I have a question, and Elaine, I'm so sorry to hear about your cat. That's horrible. I'm my condolences to you guys as you go through that. But I have a question that came up about maybe me playing with the poems that you guys write, or the whatever you write for your creative parts. Is it okay if I play with them and try to make something from them, like a new written piece that's kind of like weaving them all together, just for fun, just to see if anything comes of it that may or may not make
that follows? Like it follow them? You mean like it would be sort of in the arc of, like, we would have our poems and then it would follow them, kind of as a melange?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't suggest we completely take away our individual thing, but I just want to play with it and see what I can make. And I may not make anything at all. I mean, it might just be a disaster and it won't come together. But I just want to ask if I have your permissions to play with that stuff, whatever written creative response you have.
Have fun. I'm just like,
seriously, have fun.
I just want us to turn it in.
So Ivana, could you maybe just email me everybody's texts? Like the three that, like yours and Elaine's and Lisa's.
Well, I'm still working on.
I don't have a poem. Just be aware that I don't have a poem.
Yeah, but do you have words, or do you have?
Yes. I wanted to make a visual for the creative part, but as soon as I finish it, I can send it to you.
Well, you also have your queen and your beggar, and and your shadow. Like, you have those. If you would be comfortable with that.
Yeah, maybe I could use the positionality statements. Yeah, too.
To play with those things too. I love that. And you've asked us to think about, like, I like that idea of maybe our headings. I started writing some for myself. So I'll share that. So I can just send you my poem because I wrote it already. If you want to start to play now, I'm still working on my slides. But
yeah, I'll wait until I'm done with my slides, but I think like tonight I'll probably do that, or tomorrow morning.
All right, I'll be done today.
Are we going to take a group picture?
Sure.
Does
No, I'm gonna
somebody
post
want to
it
do
too.
that specifically, or do you want me to do it and send it to Ivana, or do we want to add it into the thing possibly?
As a slide meeting, kind of?
It
or-
would make sense for Ivana to take it probably like a screenshot, since so nobody has to send it to you.
Yes, I just made us into 4.
We'll come a
because
little
that-
closer.
I think that
Can you
would
come
be.
closer to the camera a little bit? Are you able to, both you guys? And then I don't know if you can put up a little bit. Elaine, maybe just if you could tip your screen down, just Elaine, because it starts right at your chin. So I don't know if you could, yeah.
Yes. Well,
This.
Just, there we go. This way.
Oh, good. I've got
this
my
way-
unicorn pajamas on.
And then Jody, and your top of your head gets cut off. So just a little bit. So this way we're all in the frame. There you go. I always have glare. I'm like, let me see if I can get glare. We're not having glare on my glasses. So let's try again.
Lisa Joy, you just need to put your head a bit up so I could see your eyes. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Marvelous. You always get glare.
Cool.
All right.
Okay, the best one.
All right.
Cool.
okay.
Well, the deadline for this one is 15. Is it? Yeah,
Mhm.
it
Sunday.
is. Okay. So, what's your time, Lisa Joy and Jodian? Is it?
12:30.
It's still daytime.
Yeah.
So
12:30.
12:30 p.m. Yeah.
okay. So you expect to send your slides by the end of the day, or
Mhm.
cool?
Yeah, I have a big meeting at 4:00, so I have to be done with it by 4:00 my time.
Okay. So if I'm awake, I'll play with it. If not, I'll do it in the morning. But in any case, you're gonna sleep at that time, so that's okay. That will work well.
Who
The
is
elves will be working while we sleep.
who is
Yeah.
that? You?
You have your own personal
Yeah. Who is that?
worker,
again?
you know.
Your little friend there. Who's that?
This is Princess Leia.
Oh.
We're big Star Wars geeks. Our cat's named Luke Skywalker.
Oh wow, great.
All right.
I did see the little Skywalker walking by there.
Yes. Did he come down too? Yep.
Yeah.
So I've got to go. I have a client, but it was good to see you all. Bye.
Great to see you. Thank you.
All right, Ivana, I will send you something to go with that positionality.
Cool. Thank you so much. And Lisa Joy, please also don't forget a photo, some that I
Oh, I
could.
have 2 photos.
Perfect.
I mean, well, let's see. I may get other ones together. Oh goodness, I don't know where it is. I had it open, but yeah, I can show you them.
Okay.
Let's see. Exit screen share. I just had it open. Here it is. I don't know why it wasn't showing. Zoom is funny. Screen share. Okay, slides. And here is, let's see. I put them near the end.
Okay.
So there's my little girl.
Oh,
And
Yeah, that's the one you showed us. Yes.
oh, that's great.
and
I think I will be able to do the same thing. However, if you by any chance have the more closer, more portrait-like,
Okay.
please, I will try
I can
to
do
use
that.
this one because I love it. But it could be that it's too small. Face is too small for
Yeah, I
what
think
I'm
I can
trying
do
to
that.
do.
Yeah, I'll play a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Good to see you. And
And Ivana,
I'll
can
send
you
you the-
send me the words that you did for your your positionality,
Okay.
that first
take
picture
care of it.
one, and then I'll, use about a similar space and a
Okay,
kind of a theme for myself with that.
Yeah,
no worries.
Shoot that out to
and
you.
I'll come up with the words, and then you'll just plunk my picture in there. When I, the same as yours. I really love that.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Marvelous.
Take care.
Okay, you
All right.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Oh, I can't leave the meeting. I have to click stop
Yeah.
the recording.